So hopefully we're back. I apologize about that. We had a little technical issue there. It just shut down on us. So sorry about that, guys. So let's jump right back into blue marlin. So Mark, you were talking about blue marlin and how you would kind of differ from white marlin. Why don't you kind of pick back up there?
Pretty much the blue marlin. I mean, it's a bonus round. I always call it in Ocean City. We really don't target it. Charter fishing. I mean, there are boats that will go out or ourselves during a tournament and target them, but traditionally there's not enough of them around here. A great year in Ocean City. I mean, if you catch a half dozen blue marlin, that's a great year. I mean, the most I've heard of, you get a dozen or something like that. Most of the time we see them or catch them is when we're out there trolling and they eat the tuna baits. But most of the time, well, at least 50% of the time, they'll come up and just eat like a tuna. It's just an explosion. They eat your bait, and you don't even realize it till he jumps. Other times, you will get them in the spread, and the trick is at that point, don't let them eat your dink baits. You try to get them on something that's capable of handling him. We do keep, especially in the tournaments, we do keep a pitch bait, on an 80 for just a blue marlin. And the best thing that could happen is them come up on a teaser, and you just switch them right over to your pitch bait. I mean, if you do get hit, I mean, it does happen. You'll hit the wrong bait. You could ask probably Chris on that one last year. I know he had an experience or so with it on the blue marlin. They eat the wrong thing and you end up spending, I don't know, how long were you on that fish, Chris? It was quite a while.
About an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, unfortunate when that happens, it's on the wrong bait, but at that point you have no choice. I mean, if you're charter fishing, if the charter wants to deal with it, great. If you're in a tournament, it's a killable fish. Obviously, you're going to do everything you can to try to land the fish. If it's a smaller fish, then at that point, if you're not worried about release points, you're just going to, tighten right up on them and break them off. So it really just depends on what your task is for the day.
So let's talk real quick about tournaments. So, a lot of the times small boat guys, we're going out there and we're going out for fun, but, there's more, there's plenty of tournaments throughout the season that we guys can get into. And, tournaments like the White Marlin Open have added small boat categories, kind of entice small guys to get out there and participate in these. So when it comes from, your charter fishing or fun fishing to tournament time, how much stuff are you changing for the tournament? What are you upgrading on your tackle? What are your tactics changing? How much of it is different than just a normal day of fishing? Curtis, why don't you take that one?
Yeah. So we try on our boat, we try to fish the same way consistently because that builds up our teamwork and everybody kind of knows their role and all. In preparation for a tournament like the White Marlin Open or the Mid-Atlantic or one of those, we'll change out our lines, put all new leaders on everything, just make sure all the gear is brand new so that we don't have any technical malfunctions. But we really approach even just a fun day of fishing. I wouldn't say it's as intense as during a tournament. I mean, my guys are super tuned in when we're tournament fishing, but I want the same, gaffing of the fish to be the same way. I want the hookups to be the same way. I want everything to be the same. And eyes running the boat, every trip is practicing for that tournament because you want it to be kind of second nature by the time you get in there.
Okay. All right. Chris, what about you? Are you keeping the same tactics, or are you kind of up in the ante a little bit? Any words of wisdom there?
I mean, we try to keep the same tactic. That's the goal. I mean, if you fish like you fish every day, you'll catch them. Some people get all caught up in a tournament and change everything around and then wonder why they don't do good. Just go out there and fish. I mean, most of us fish pretty much a lot of days in the summer, and you just get used to fishing one way. Just stick with it if it's working for you. We redo all our lines, backing everything for all the tournaments, and then other than that, I mean, because we basically use the same stuff that we charter with every day. So we just reline everything, new leaders and, new hooks, everything all new, the week of the tournaments. But other than that, we just try to do what we do. I mean, we go out and catch fish every day. So there's no sense of trying to change what we do.
Jeremy, so if I'm fishing in a tournament, what's your tactic for, like, let's say we're fishing the White Marlin Open and everybody wants to catch the big white. Are you always going after the big white, or are you kind of focusing on the other categories? When do you switch over throughout the week? Like, what's your school of thought on that?
We always start, marlin fishing. You want that big white, and change tactics as the week goes on. Like this year, the white was caught and it's huge. Like, okay, what else is available? The one tactic we did this year at White Marlin Open added that on the board Calcutta. So looking at the weather and the storm, I'm like, guys, we get to that hot dog, catch a handful of, we get on the board, that could bring us money. That's exactly what we did. And we beat our way out there Monday morning, went chunking, caught some fish. I think we won on 20 or 30 grand just because we got 2 days on the board. So you can play that tactic, especially with the small boats. You're not competing against 300 boats. You might be competing against 80. So just look at what your competition's doing. If the Wahoo division's open and it's Friday and nobody's caught one in your division, do that. If the Dolphins there, we change our tactics as to what's on the. You don't have to win all of it, but winning something.
Okay. Well, I think that about wraps up most of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. And, I apologize for all the technical glitches that we've had. We were planning on doing this in person when we had talked about this months ago, and we were hoping that the COVID stuff would be gone. But I appreciate you guys chiming in, and I appreciate anybody that's been watching. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to call the shop. Definitely consider doing a charter on one of these boats for these guys. They really know their stuff. Obviously, they've been talking about it today, and definitely support them and pick up some trips, some tips on the trip while you're out there. So I want to thank everybody for that helped out today. Chris, Jason, Jeremy, Mark, and of course Curtis. Couldn't have done this without you guys, so I really appreciate it. So thank you guys for watching, and if you guys have any questions, just let us know. Good luck out there. Have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Take care.
You guys.
See you guys.